Hello and welcome to the Mindset Nebula podcast. This is our first podcast for 2023, and it's January 13th, Friday the 13th. So we've got a scary podcast in store for you today. We have topics of S4HANA. We're going to talk about things that we see evolving in the industry. And we're going to talk about 2023 predictions and things that we see happening in the industry, both SAP, cloud, design, and anything else that we see. This is the Mindset Nebula. We talk about SAP, we talk about design, we talk about tech, and we get to know you better. So this is Rob Neuenschwander. I'm a principal architect with Mindset. I'm located in our Minneapolis office, and I've got two colleagues joining me today, and we might have a guest arriving as we move along. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
Hi, my name is Abhilash. I'm currently working as a director at Mindset Experience India. I work from Hyderabad office. I basically take care of SAP BTP practice here. So very excited to be part of this podcast today. We are going to discuss more about S4HANA and its predictions. Looking forward.
Great, thanks, Javi.
Hey, this is Joseph Chinnabatani. New journey to Mindset. Thanks for having me, Rob and Abhi. Pretty delighted to share my knowledge on the S4HANA side experience, and we'll definitely talk about more on 2023 and its predictions. Been in SAP industry for almost like 18 years for now, working as a technology pre-sales engineer at Mindset. So it's been just over a month. So happy to be part of this podcast.
Great. It's awesome to have you two here. You're both very prolific in our internal technical community and in the knowledge you provide to our customers. And so having you on the podcast is a natural extension, and I'm super excited for your contributions today. All right, well, let's roll up and get started. So like we said, there's some S4 we want to talk about a little bit today, and then some predictions. So maybe Joseph, why don't we start a little bit, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about the strategy you see coming out with maintenance release, coming up with S4, and the strategy of how that's going to evolve.
You bet. So last year, in the month of September, October-ish, SAP announced that the upcoming on S4HANA releases and maintenance strategy will be which are offering to customers, with greater opportunities for continuous innovation and a flexible path to cloud readiness. So their focus is more on the cloud. So what that means is, there'll be less focus on the on-premise versions and more focus on the cloud versions. So it's going to be like SaaS products, right? And the commercial, competitive, and operational demands on companies are intense. Like they are really facing an unprecedented speed of change. Digitalization strategies have to adapt rapidly and profoundly. So customers are they have to continually innovate first thing, and while at the same time adapting their own business process and reinventing their business models, right? So this cloud technology now has become a pivotal to keep up the change. So coming to the maintenance and release strategy, SAP focuses more on from 2023 onwards. It's not going to be a yearly release. It's going to be in 2 years. It's going to release for every 2 years. So what we can expect from SAP is, there will be S4HANA 2023, which might be releasing in the month of September-ish and October-ish, but they won't be in 2024. So it will be again like 2025 will be the next release. But with the frequent feature pack stacks SAP still want to continue with the release of FPS 1, FPS 2, and so on, right? So until the next 2 years. So this is how they would like to focus more, because they want customers to be not relying on-prem with their respective business models on their hyperscalers, but would like to move onto the cloud version, and so that the customers can adapt the latest technologies. So we talk about AI, we talk about VR, we talk about ML. So all these are they're focusing more on the cloud versions rather than the on-premise version. So it's going to be like at least an year or a few releases difference between on-prem versus the cloud. So they want to centralize and focus more on, on the SaaS applications, right? So one of the point, how a customer, how can we go to the S4HANA? So they did provided an easy upgrade path directly from, if the customer is on 1709, they can upgrade to 2023, 1809 or 1909, so they can directly go to S4HANA 2023 versions. So, and especially the maintenance commitment, right? So that is the key challenge for every customer, because the maintenance cost is every year they have to pay based on the base component version. And until the end of 2040, SAP committed that S4 HANA maintenance commitment will stay. So it is not like after 5 years or 10 years it's going to be toasted, but it is not. So SAP focus is to survive at least just like next 17 years, like with the maintenance commitment. So whereas SAP promised to do the same thing for the business suite, like until 2077, but with the optional extended the maintenance until 2030. So 2030 ERP business suite, and 2040 S4 HANA maintenance commitment is going to be there for sure.
Yeah. So not surprising. I think SAP's been very transparent in their desire to get their customers on the cloud for a lot of the reasons that you just talked about, right? They're going to, it's an easier path for innovation. It's an easier path for delivering superior product capabilities and service. And it aligns with what a lot of customers are doing with their broader architectures anyway, right? Most of the customers that we work with are at various stages of their cloud adoption journey. Some very far along, some more new to it, all of them trying to figure out what's the best architecture for SAP along the way.
Yeah.
And certainly enabling a faster path towards those maintenance releases and receiving those and starting to use those is beneficial for customers, because we see how disruptive it is, especially for on-prem, when you've got outages and more risky upgrade paths. It's challenging. I mean, and frankly, it's been a barrier for many customers to upgrade, because it's so impactful, not only from a cost perspective, but from a business perspective, right? So no surprise. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. As you very well noted, right? I mean, the upgrade path. I think now SAP is thinking more. They hear customers, the feedback, which is really important from all the customers, right? Because when we start implementing S4HANA, by the time we are live on S4HANA, it's going to be at least down the map of 1 year. By the time there is a new release, and customer would like to adapt those new technologies which are available on the next version, right? And again, that phase is going to go for another technical upgrade for another 6 months to 8 months or 1 year, for example. So this is what SAP is frequently hearing, and they would like to solve this, one by two options. One is customer can leverage that with the SaaS application, which is S4HANA Cloud. Rise with SAP is what we say. Slash, if they want to stay with the existing version, they can stay with the existing version, but it's not. I mean, until for next 2 years, SAP is not going to release any S4HANA. So maybe some feature pack stacks, as I mentioned, like the FPS1, FPS2, 3, 4, something like that. But that's a very important decision by SAP, which is really good. What I personally feel from the technical perspective, the reason behind is there won't be any frequent updates happening, and the business have to get used to it. Back in ECC days, business suite. how long do you see like customer who has upgraded from EHP 7 to, let's say EHP 6 to EHP 7? So like it's been there for a decade, right? I mean, like it's still there, and now they want to stop on EHP 8. That would be the last version of ECC 6.0 with enhancement pack 8.
Yeah.
Right. I personally look at it the other way, because this kind of commitment is very, very important for the customers. The reason is because that gives them some stability, right? Because, for example, if some customer is going live in 2023 or 2024, so if you are giving a roadmap of like 17, 16 years of support from SAP, commitment is like a much better benefit for them, because they definitely need that much time to think about, because the technology shift happens, because we had a business suite, now we have a major change in the database. That's where the complete SAP architecture has changed, and now most of the customer has to move on to S4HANA. But this 17 years of commitment definitely helps the customers, because though SaaS or cloud is the go-to suggestion by SAP, because of legal reasons, because of various internal issues, many customers still wanted to continue on on-prem, right? But same time, they may be customizing on the cloud, but the core still remains on the on-prem, right? So the same time, like as you mentioned, Joseph, so the 2 years of upgrade time, so that gap is really good, I personally feel, because that gives them some time to think about the other innovations. Because most of the time, when as you mentioned clearly, right? So as soon as one upgrade is done, before they plan some major innovation or something like that, always there is an upgrade part has to happen, irrespective of what they plan, right? Now customers has the opportunity to take a break. Now this is okay, good. So we have 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year time, so that they can utilize to looking into the other innovation areas. That definitely leads to explore more technologies from the SAP side. That's what my view is, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Abhi. I mean, just you're giving that capacity back to the IT organizations, so they're not having to just be working on maintenance and release strategy, and they can actually be implementing the business innovation that the clients come up with. So yeah, very good. So that's S4. As we think about the broader intelligent enterprise vision that SAP's provided, there's other components in the ecosystem. There's like the networks, the business networks that participate. There's the cloud and the infrastructure pieces, and then there's BTP as a platform and the different capabilities that SAP is providing in that space, which are very innovative. What do you guys foresee coming in 2023 as those platforms continue to evolve outside of and on top of the S4 base?
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, like it's time for the real cloud, right? I mean, when we talk about real cloud, it's some more of BTP. We have a proven best practices. It's fast time to value. There are a lot of automate and continual updates which going to happen on the cloud versions, right? So with the BTP as of day to day, I think over approximately like 100 services are available on the BTP side. So like let's take the key things like Fear Launchpad, Launchpad as a service, and Work Zone, now called as a build work zone. So all these services are like they are customers can easily adapt just by turning it on, and then do some technical configuration side and then leverage those services. So back old days, like in order to get that feel, how that really looks like, it is it takes a while for them to implement, configure, and then really see how the meat looks like, right? But now it's open, it's extensible, it's easy, it is security because of the SAP on the cloud. It has its own compliance and scalability, right? So this is what I would like to convey as 2 points.
Right. Yeah, because there is another way. I mean, definitely, there was a lot of confusion in the last 5, 6 years about SAP Cloud. Neo was there, and then now we have BTP. So I think definitely BTP is definitely going to be there because now it is based on the industry standards, Cloud Foundry, and a lot of integrations based on the best practices what available in the past cloud solutions. Everything is coming under one umbrella, right? So you choose what service you need. Okay, so the minimal thing, like those, for those customers, those who really wanted to start on the cloud, need not to go big on it, right? Just start with launchpad service, in our traditional terms, the launchpad service, right? So now SAP is rebranding it as a work zone standard edition, where you will be just going to provide on the cloud, your data is secured on premises, but for the all the users, the launchpad is going to be on the BTP side, right? So what is the advantage with this approach is uh, again the same earlier standard, like anything SAP releases on the software components related to the launchpad, UEFI library, upgrades and everything was a big pain, right? Now on the cloud, we have the option, so you do need not to worry about all that stuff. And launchpad or the work zone gives them the peace of mind for the customers. So you still have the all the same security standards available, like your IDP and everything, all integrations are possible, and you can still provide your customers, right? For example, in the old earlier days, if you wanted to provide a customer portal or supplier portal, you have to look out either you expose your launchpad through VPN or the complex infrastructure, or you have to build something on the other cloud environments, right? Now everything you can just do it on the BTP side. So overall, I mean, the maintenance is going to be reduced. It's a lot of peace of mind, and this is where the small piece customers can start one service, just use that service and get started, and then start exploring more options on the BTP side, where a lot of innovations are available. Like there are many other features. For example, if you are having a document management system on this for HANA, now using the BTP layer, we can still keep your documents on the BTP on the S4 HANA core, but the documents can be accessed through the BTP on the launch on the work zone. So like this, we have the integration suite, robotic process automation that build. Now the process automation is more sophisticated environment, where a lot of paper-based process can be simplified with very low code tools available, right? So you can build forms, you can build workflows, you can do the process automation. This is all for the citizen developers, right? Not even you don't need a core developers. Definitely the more complex scenarios will go through the standard customizations, but a lot of digitalization can happen in a very quick manner using BTP.
Yeah, it'll be I mean, it already is fascinating to watch this evolve, and I'm really eager to see in 2023 how that might continue to evolve. We've been working with some clients on some rather rigorous and sophisticated DMS applications to date, and seeing the way that we can now expose access and interoperability with our DMS infrastructure through BTP really opens up a lot of different integration scenarios and different composite application types of scenarios that will just be so much easier to accommodate now. So I really like the way that BTP is starting to expose core services, because it's so much easier to access and manipulate those S4 services using the common data model and the the integrations and the connectors that come out of the box in BTP, while still opening up your ability to participate and access services and build applications using other hypervisors and cloud services. Things that you can do in AWS and build there could hook into your DMS application structure that you've already invested in. You don't have to lift and shift that over to another cloud player and use AWS services and to build a bucket there that you're storing all your documents in. You can use what you already have. And so I think that portends a lot of really interesting scenarios and hopefully ease of implementation and ease of use.
Also just consider the efforts, right? So if you just wanted to put it on the AWS or Azure, I mean, the efforts required, and we have plug and play solutions available on your BTP. So you just play with that. Like, for example, if new customers are coming, they'll have multiple options. They can choose DMS on the BTP as their core, or they can choose continue existing repositories on the S4HANA, and they can but still access on the BTP. A lot of possibilities, right?
Yeah. What do you, and let's you mentioned briefly, Joseph, kind of build work zone. SAP, it wasn't too long ago, very relatively recently, that they rebranded a lot of their citizen developer tools and the low code, no code tools into the build platform. What do you see there? What types of evolution or adoption might we see in 2023 with those tools and their use?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just when I saw this initially, I got a thought of, okay, this is enterprise portal back in 15 years, 18 years back, right? So when SAP released enterprise portal, so it is like portal, knowledge management, and collaboration. So it's a integration of all different components, right? I mean, and now we see everything on cloud, but it's a different terminologies. For example, like content, which is again KM, and the collaboration, which is communication, and the process, business process, is the same thing. Like, but it's all a very advanced technology, very advanced in terms of adapting those new services and so on, right? But long story short, you can create an outstanding user experience. That is the point number one. In other terms, it is more than the Fury Launchpad. Like, in Fury Launchpad, you will see only certain applications based on your designation, based on your role. Whereas here, along with it, you can also see some more information about an application content. How does it surfaces to it, and simplifies the business process, and employee engagement, focusing towards on the productivity. For example, like I can see only this information which is corporate related, so I can see that along with the tiles, right? So SAP Build Work Zone, which is an advanced edition, that is meant for building digital workplace solutions, is what I see. Will be focusing more on SAP will be focusing more on that area.
Right.
Abhi, what do you think as a professional developer using those tools, right, to build solutions for your clients? Does the ease of use and accessibility and how quickly you can develop them overcome any limitations or constraints that you see it, because you are able to use more advanced tools, right? You're very skilled in how we can build those. How do you contrast that for a professional?
Right. See, I mean, for the professional developers, we already have the front end for Fiori, and we have the CDS developments or CAPM development for all the custom developments, right? Where to handle all the complex scenarios. Now, this concept of a build where we have you can quickly drag and drop and create forms, basically, right? And then you can automate this. You can create the context, and you can pass it onto the workflows, and it can go on to different steps for different department approvals. And we can do kind of some automations, for example, read emails and process some documents, or you can send read files and do some processing of the document, like that. RPA supports that. But independently, like for example, you can still use RPA as an independent tool. You can still use workflow as an independent tool, right? Those capabilities still exist where we can still continue to support the complex business problems, right? So this is because, see, from a consulting point of view, our ultimate aim is to make sure that help the customers to achieve their targets, right? So these build tools definitely helps them to reach those goals at faster pace, right? So the complex scenarios always goes in one-on-one, but at the same time, like for example, there are many supporting tools. One of them is, like for example, mobile services comes handy, right? If you have some applications coming on the launchpad with a few step configurations, we can enable mobile enablement of that. So the same launchpad can be available on the mobile start, and users can start using them, right? Because everything, like you have the inbox or whatever we see on the standard work zone, everything is available on your mobile. So so just imagine how this should have possible a few years back, right? So you have to build separate mobiles applications. It was a very complex thing. Now a lot of simplification is done. So for the professional developers, now we have the opportunity to think beyond from the regular side, and support the customers on the more complex scenarios where digitalization can effectively help them.
Yeah, that's great. Joseph, did you have any thoughts on that before we move on to a different topic?
Yeah, I mean, so on the along with that, right? I mean, not only to the previous point, like S4HANA with leveraging state of all the AI and UI technologies to provide an intuitive product experience. So that is really prediction, which we can see in 2023. A lot of things going to happen there, right? For example, like SAP is talking about collaborating. Integration of Microsoft Teams into SAP S4HANA. So that is one of the key things, for example, like how do you see an issue, you see a problem in the system, and immediately you're trying to collaborate that with the right team member, through Teams. So that's a great thing, and, quick action to be taken on place, right? Along with that, they talked about also like, talking and texting. I don't know how that's going to happen, but talking and texting is something which is voiceover. As Abhi mentioned, mobile startup. So that's another one thing, and the sketching. So there are a lot of AR, VR, like there's like it's going to evolve. To be honest with you, it's going to be evolved with a lot of areas. So customer have to adapt based on their business needs. Or with whether they can set up like AI methodologies, like machine learning stuff. So all these areas they should be think broader, right? So this is really, I'm super excited to see how future S4HANA going to look like. But right now it is not just an ERP version, where we can do just some transaction based, but SAP thought like above and beyond, and now you can see the fruit of it. So
yeah,
that's my thoughts.
It is super exciting. Back to the topic of S4, we have a lot of customers who are in various stages of planning, and some executing. We've got customers on S4, but many are still, seeking the path to get there, right? And so they've got plans, they've got identified, rough timelines, but they're trying to figure out how they're going to get there and what those impacts are going to be. I'm really excited about the evolution of a tool platform that we've built called Merlin, and its ability to help our customers really get insights into opportunity that S4 is going to bring, and to focus the insight and the details that we provide in that understanding on their use of SAP today, and the prevalence of various transactions. So Abhi, I know you've been, kind of one of the masterminds of actually building this tool. Maybe you could describe a little bit for our listeners what value is coming here and how that might help them in their S4 consideration.
Right. I'll tell you the background why we have been doing, because from the last 1+ years, we've been working on a lot of automations, build, and on the BTP side. But when it comes to the core, right, as some customer is moving on from business to S4HANA, there is a lot of time they spend analyzing like what application suits us, because this piece of complexity is still there, because it requires a lot of study, a lot of understanding. Though SAP providing Fiori app library as a tool, the understanding and the complications are very high. So from that point of view, we thought about why don't we simplify that, right, for the customers. So that's based on that, the idea of Merlin has got into the picture. So how this helps the customers is like for those customers, those who are moving on to the S4 HANA, based on the current state of their system, we will be offering our tool which analyzes their existing system based on some of our analysis and internal logic. So it will suggest like what are the suitable applications based on the past usage. Now this gives them the opportunity to, like, you need not to do anything, like you just use your now we provide a simplified interface where just either you upload your transaction codes, or you can simply enter some transaction codes, and then you can see the details, and then you can work with collaboratively, like then identify what are the scenarios which are suitable for them, right? And then that's not the only case, right? And that's where actual job starts. Once you identify all your hundreds or thousands of applications, the next big pain is like activations and roles, catalog, group assignment, and there's a lot of work needs to be done. So we are the Merlin platform supports very advanced way of handling these things. So all these steps can be automated, and these things can be completed in with a few clicks of applications, right? So that's where Merlin gives a lot of reduces a lot of complexity. So whatever the users has to spend weeks of time can be done in a few days, and then they can focus on rest of the works. So the beauty of this product is it also gives the latest information based on the version of the customer S4 HANA system. And there are many parameters. It's altogether a very big topic. Definitely we can do a special podcast on this along with John. But yeah, definitely this is going to be a game changer, and this is going to help a lot of customers, those who are moving on to S4 HANA.
Yeah. I can't think of a customer that I work with that this doesn't benefit, to be honest. It's a pretty powerful capability, and I've been impressed with it. By the way, we did a presentation recently that was recorded and is available on our YouTube channel. I'll make sure that we get a link to that in the show notes for this podcast. So for those of you listening to Avi's description, we'll put a link there, and you can view that. And there's a demonstration live of the product as it exists, as well as some more detail about how we're evolving that product and future capabilities that will be coming with it as well. And then the other just one second, Joseph. I'd like to
sorry.
Next. It's okay. The last piece I wanted to include was Avi mentioned you can load one transaction at a time or whatever. We can also take your STO3N report, which has your history of transaction use, and load that directly in. And so we can simplify that piece for you of obtaining that usage history out of your system, loading it into Merlin, and then walking you through the outputs of that. And that's a pretty easy approach. Okay, Joseph.
Sorry, I was highlighting the same point because I really like the product, Merlin. The beauty of this, as very well mentioned by Abhi, is when you show to the customer, right? I mean, customer might be in a confusion state where, okay, what are the applications still I'm going to use it for my business, right? So this tool instantly tells you with the report of ST03 usage profile or system profiles importing into our Merlin, and then you can showcase that what is your target version going to be like. Looks like, are you going to S4 HANA 2022 feature pack stack 02? Yes, we can choose that, and then pull out the apps available for this, like which might be like over 2,000 or maybe 1,500, whatever, right? So that instant information is really important for a customer to understand. Hey, this is fantastic because this is what we need to know. What is our business transactions are using, and
Yes.
based on that usage profile, these are the applications which matches. Uh, I don't need to use like VO01, 02, 03 anymore. It is just to manage and its respective core Fiori application, right? So one app, three transaction codes into one app, right? So I love that tool. I was just playing around with a couple of times, and then also talking with one of our customer, and on just a conversation about this. Hey, this is what our tool does. Why don't we just jump on a call and I'll showcase you. All I need is your production system information with ST03 and usage profile. That's all I need from your prod system, and we'll show you the magic. So that's I would like to add on the Merlin part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
independently
that's
without touching anything on the customer
Yeah,
landscape. Sorry, Rob.
right.
that's okay. You can see there's a lot of excitement here.
Excitement.
I mean, the cool thing is, we've got, this is very approachable for customers, and Joseph could work with a customer on this. I can, John can, Abhi can. So for those of you listening, if this is striking a chord, certainly reach out to us. This is a very easy thing for us to help you with, and provides a great deal of insight and a lot of value. So I'm really impressed with what our product team has built in this capacity, and I'm eager, to use it to help more clients. Abhi, did you have anything else? I'm sorry, I cut you off, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Merlin platform, just wanted to add a couple of more important points there. So just Merlin platform is just the platform usage doesn't end till your activation of your apps, but still it provides a lot of additional benefits. Like you can have analyzer, like you can watch which apps are more useful in your organization. You can take a feedback of the applications what built on, and then based on that base usage and customer feedback, we can take decisions to improve them, basically, right?
Mhm.
So we call it as a voice of employee, Fiori app analyzer. This suite comes with a lot of functionalities, because from the beginning of your S4 HANA, and just it continue. As long as you have S4 HANA, this product is going to be there in your landscape, and is going to make a lot of support to the administration side.
Yeah, for sure. And we are user-centric based organization. We take that lens with everything that we do. And so certainly I think it was exciting for us to be able to uncover where users are having challenges or great success today, but being able to identify those areas that there are issues and there are challenges, and there are user adoption problems or inefficiencies, and zeroing in on that as opportunities to improve your own employee experience and customer experience. That's very close to our DNA, and so it's no surprise it's in the product, but it's super exciting for me. We just got a couple minutes left. Did you have any other last minute thoughts or topics, anything that's come to mind through our conversation this morning?
Yeah, that's pretty much we covered S4 HANA, especially, right? I mean, and its update path, maintenance and strategy. We talk about BTP and its respective couple of services and the latest and greatest technologies, UI and AI side. So yeah, and these are if we keep on talking, we can sit hours together to talk about the latest technologies. So
we need to save some fun for the next podcast, but
absolutely.
Well,
it's been Abhi, I'm sorry, did you have any last thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, 2023 is going to be very exciting for users and SAP, because post COVID pandemic, there is a lot of need for the digitalization. The right time, the set of tools required for the customers are available, and as SI partners like us, we are there to help the customers to the successful journey of the customer digital transformation. So we should be thankful to SAP and to us, like these tools are very helpful, and at the right time where this kind of process is required, right? So it's going to be very exciting, and looking forward to be a very exciting year for SAP. Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I'm eager to see how these areas continue to evolve, as well as internally how we're able to grab onto more of these technologies and strategies and bring value to our clients through better understanding and use of them as we put them into practice. And then, we're growing our practice internally too. We're embracing AWS capabilities and growing the ability to help clients in many more areas through partnerships. So a lot more on that to come. And I think we can call it a wrap for today, though. I want to thank you too for sharing your expertise and your opinion, your insights, and your forecasts with our clients. So we look forward to seeing you all again on the Mindset Nebula, and say thanks and have a great day. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you all.
Joseph.